Hey everyone, it's Michelle Caruana from the Marketing Junkie podcast and Marketing Junkie Society. And today's quick fix is all about using scheduling tools to post on social media and whether or not doing so affects organic reach. I know that in 2020, everyone is looking to grow organically on social media. So this is a question that comes up a lot with my private clients as well as in Marketing Junkie Society. And my answer this year in 2020 is actually going to be different from what I was recommending in 2015. But first, I want to break down where this rumor actually came from, that scheduling social media posts hurts organic reach. Well, way back in 2015, Mary Smith was kind of the queen of Facebook. And she basically came out to her followers and said that she started using third-party scheduling tools. 2015 is really where they became more prevalent. And she basically said that her post received about 90% less engagement. And we all know that Facebook prioritizes posts that have a lot of engagement because it signals to Facebook that it is quality content. So therefore, her reach was also decreased. And she basically said, this is a result from using third-party scheduling tools. So this sparked a really heated debate between her and a lot of the CEOs of the content planning tools, places like Buffer, and places like that. And they actually decided to do their own research to see, okay, are our users experiencing decreased reach when they use our tools? Now, this research may be a little bit biased because it was definitely performed by people that had very high stakes in the research conclusions, but basically they found that really in very few cases, reach was actually affected at all. And in a lot of cases, reach actually increased when companies were using third-party scheduling tools. Now, Facebook does say that they want you to use their native scheduling tools. However, I have looked at the results over the past several years that both myself and my clients have gotten. And in a lot of cases, our organic reach has actually increased when we started using third-party scheduling tools. And I'm not saying that Mary Smith was wrong. She could be completely accurate in saying that she herself experienced decreased reach and engagement. But I kind of want to dig into the why, because this is a really easy trap to fall into, and it can cause a lot of people to conclude that third-party scheduling tools do hurt organic reach. So if you go back and look at some of the posts that she was referring to, she fell into this common trap herself, and that is getting into the wrong mentality when you're scheduling posts. So I highly recommend that if you're sitting down and using a tool like Buffer, which is what I use, or Sprout Social, or Planoly, or Tailwind, any of those tools, when you're sitting down to schedule your social media content, imagine that you're posting it on the fly. So a lot of people, when they schedule posts, they'll do something really generic, or they won't really think through the copy of the post. They will just kind of use it as checking off the box on their list. They just want to get a bunch of posts scheduled and they kind of set it and forget it. And that definitely will lead to decreased engagement because people on social media want you to be sharing with them. They don't want to be broadcasted to. They don't want to be sold to all the time. So when you're sitting down to schedule your social media posts, just keep that in mind. Keep everything very engaging. Realize that Facebook and Instagram are meant to bring people together and share behind the scenes tidbits and really engage with people and form a relationship with them. Social media should really be seen as the first handshake that you have with your followers before you move them along your customer journey into actual paying clients or customers. So a lot of times what I've seen when people do say that their reach has gone down when they're using third-party scheduling tools, I'll look at what posts they post on the fly versus the posts that they schedule. And the posts that they schedule usually are sales related, or they're very dry, or you can tell as a follower that it was scheduled and kind of, again, set and forgotten. Another mistake that a lot of people make when they're scheduling posts is they forget that it's going out. So what I mean by that is they'll set the post to go out and then they literally will just forget it. And that can definitely hurt reach and engagement because if you're not commenting back to people that are commenting on your post, that is not only going to lead to a decreased engagement rate because your comments aren't there inflating that rate, but people are also going to stop commenting if they're not getting a response or if they don't feel like that company or personal brand truly cares about them or their comment or their opinion. So what I recommend is, let's say you post at 11 a.m. every day. I recommend going ahead and doing that, but setting an alarm on your phone to spend at least a few minutes answering questions. And I also recommend going in and checking daily to see if there are any new comments on your post that you can engage with. Because again, a lot of times when people schedule posts, they forget to do that. And yes, that will absolutely lead to a decreased reach and decreased engagement. The next mistake that I see people make is they go 100% to scheduled posts. And me personally, and what I recommend to my clients is I found that a mix between posting on the fly and scheduled post is really the best way to navigate organic social media reach, because you're giving people a variety, you are mixing it up, you are posting things that 100% seem right there in the moment. And again, people can tell that. People can tell when you just pick up your phone and start talking or start typing. They appreciate that authenticity. So for my personal business, I like to do about 20% of my posts on the fly, and then I like to do about 80% posts scheduled. Now, I have seen a lot of influencers say that they like more of like a 40% on the fly versus a 60% scheduled, because they really rely on social media to increase their sales and business. But for me, social media doesn't play as big of a role in my business, and it doesn't make as big of an impact on sales. So I'm really comfortable with that 20%. So you just have to ask yourself what the correct mix is for you. I just personally know that if I don't schedule at least 5 out of my 7 posts every single week, I know that I'm not going to be able to post as much. And the most important thing that I tell people with social media, especially when it comes to organic reach, is consistency. Keep getting in front of your followers, keep engaging with them, keep posting quality content that people actually want to see. And that's going to increase the quality of your pages overall and your accounts. It's going to tell the Instagram algorithm and the Facebook algorithm that your content is quality, and that you are providing a good user experience for your fans and followers. And in turn, they are going to reward you with increased organic reach on all of your posts as a general rule. So if you know yourself and you know that you're not going to be able to be as consistent if you're not scheduling more posts, then again, find that perfect mix for you. Another mistake that I see people make is they're constantly posting the same type of content. And this is especially true when they're using third-party scheduling tools, because it's really easy to hop into Canva or a stock photo website, just download a bunch of stuff and then get it all scheduled. And having the same type of content, so for example, having 10 quote graphics in a row, might not be what your audience wants to see. I instead recommend mixing up your content. Do a mix of slideshows and videos. And your videos don't have to be all you speaking directly to the camera, what we call a talking head video. They can be slideshows of your products. They can be videos of you doing something with your hands. It can be a screen share. There can be many different types of video where you don't necessarily have to have your face on camera, because I know video scares a lot of people. You can also do animated social media posts. I know Canva has a really great tool to do animated social media posts. So they're still graphics, but they move around and they're a little bit more eye-catching than a static image. You can do carousel posts. You can link to your free content like blog articles and YouTube videos. One of my favorite things to schedule on my social media platforms are my blogs and my YouTube videos. And a lot of people also make the mistake of saying, I created this piece of content, let's say it's a blog, and I shared it once, I can't share it again because most of my followers have already seen it. But because organic reach just across the board is lower than ever, that is absolutely not true. So the mistake I see people making is they'll spend 80% of time creating content and only 20% sharing it. And I think I heard that statistic on Jenna Kutcher's podcast, but basically she recommends flipping it around and saying, okay, spend 20% of your time creating and 80% of your time sharing it and promoting it. Because we know as social media managers that when you schedule a post or when you post organically, whichever the case may be, your organic reach is going to be very low. I think on average, it's between 2 to 5% of your followers that you're actually going to reach. So don't feel like you're oversharing things. Don't feel like you can't recycle old content. I guarantee you that every single time you share that piece of content, no matter how many times you've shared it, you are going to get new eyes on it, especially if you're consistently working to grow your account. Now, those are some tips, but just keep in mind that when it comes to organic reach and using scheduling tools, I promise you that as long as you keep these tips in mind and remember that quality content is always key, your organic reach will not be impacted. In fact, it might increase because of your increased consistency on all of the platforms. And I just want to give a little piece of advice. I know that posting on all different platforms like Pinterest and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, it can all feel so overwhelming. So I have actually started scheduling 100% of my content on some platforms where engagement doesn't matter as much, such as Pinterest. So on my podcast, I'll link to the episode in the description of this video, but my Megan Williamson, the Pinterest expert that I had on the show, actually describes how you can just spend like an hour a week and have set up your entire Pinterest strategy 100% automated. So some platforms you can actually go 100% scheduled, and I promise you your reach will actually increase, especially on Pinterest, because of that consistency. So don't feel overwhelmed. It can be simple. I promise you that is exactly what this YouTube channel is about. So if you like these tips, if you want to see more content, don't forget to subscribe to this video and leave a comment. I answer them all, and I would be happy to help you with any of your social media or online marketing questions. Have a great day, guys.